What's up, everybody? It's M Thomas 2 coming at you with another video. And today we will talk about how bad habits can hurt your reputation and also your self-image, the way you view yourself. And we're going to use Sonic the Hedgehog, the franchise, as the example, not necessarily the character, but the franchise. So Sonic Team and Sega. So in order to do that, we need to get a little history lesson, starting with 2001's Sonic Adventure 2, which is one of the best games in the series. And this game, I think, rated a 9 out of 10 by most critics. I think I don't know if Metacritic was around at the time, but you look around and this game was something special. If you actually look at your screen, this is not Sonic Adventure 2, but this is a level, based off of a level from Sonic Adventure 2. It's one of the most iconic Sonic levels. It really changed, it changed the game for Sonic Team. Largely because the transition to 3D for Sonic was not always pretty, but Sonic Adventure 2 really gave Sega Team and the fans, Sonic and Sega and the fans, hope that this game, Sonic, can exist in 3D. And yeah, Sonic Adventure 2, very important game, and it's really laid foundation for the next couple games. Although the next couple games, then we saw some regression. And starting with 2004's Sonic Heroes. Now, Sonic Heroes, in my opinion, is a good game. Largely due to level design. But the control, I think universally, if you ask someone, a real Sonic fan, about Sonic Heroes, they'll say the level design is great, but the control really failed it or really held it back, I guess, from being a top tier game. I still love it. I'll still, anytime I get a chance to play it, I will. It's a very special game to me, and it was my first Sonic game. I think I even played it before the 2D games. But the problem is not necessarily Sonic Heroes, but the fact that this control was an issue for the next 3 games. So 2004 Sonic Heroes, and then we have 2005's Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, Shadow the Hedgehog, was also inspired by the mid 2000s more gritty, dark video games like I think was it Jak 2 and like GTA and games like that. It's not really cool anymore to be vibrant and bright and on a beach like Kingdom Hearts 1 or Sonic Adventure 1 or Mario Sunshine, that after in that 2005 to 2008 era, it was cooler to be edgy and dark, and I think a lot of the games at the time reflected that. And so that's also not necessarily the problem. It's more, again, the gameplay took another step back. Shadow felt like he was getting control on ice. It's really hard to control him. And again, this game was met with pretty negative reviews. First of all, what are guns doing in Sonic games? Well, yeah, it had, if the game was good, I feel like these questions wouldn't have been asked, but the game was really just bad. And it started to have people wonder if just Sonic in 3D was rotten to its core. This isn't working. Is it because, it's because of the control, or is it because of Sonic? Sonic just shouldn't be like this. There's a lot of talk about what Sonic should be. Shout out to King K for that quote, YouTuber. And began conversation around this time on, should Sonic be, should it have a deep story? Should it have guns? Should it have all these things? And it really, yeah, it really called into question a lot of things. And I think the problem with it was if the game was good, then the conversation wouldn't be that. But unfortunately for Sega and their rushed deadlines and their, you know, and just, making a bad game, this was now the conversation. And if you're new to the gaming world and you don't know what happens after Shadow, then yeah, you'll learn now. That is Sonic 06. The named the worst video game of all time. It got launched with glitches and bugs and a time travel plot, and the game was just bad all around. And notice the years that I say this: Sonic Heroes 2004, Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, Sonic 06, so obviously 2006. These games were released in succession, and I mean back to back to back years. And the problem with that is the control did not get addressed. So then, when you don't address one problem, then more problems will then surface, and rush game after rush game after rush game, and you get the worst game of all time. And this really hurt Sonic's reputation. The conversation was, oh, Sonic, it used to be, oh, Sonic could work in 3D. Like, look at Sonic Adventure, look at Sonic Heroes man, should Sonic even be in 3D? Why are Sonic's friends in this? And yeah, after Sonic 06, a big change happened where really we only got to play as Sonic. There was no more playing as Tails. There was no more playing as Knuckles. All Sonic's friends gone. And if they were there, they were minor. They had minor roles as just background characters spouting exposition. Look at Sonic here. Look at Sonic Unleashed. Look at Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations. These are games that are considered good. However, the problem is that Sonic Team really got rid of a lot of things that were controversial. You saw a lack of confidence in their storytelling and other gameplay styles, and it goes to question, why did this happen? Well, I think it happened because of Sega's bad habits of forcing deadlines, forcing the holiday deadlines, and forcing the directors to just keep pumping out games regardless of the previous issues. So when you don't address a problem in 2004, in Sonic Team's case, then by 2006 you have the worst Sonic game of all time, and that means first game of all time, and that happened in 2 years. And now you think about your own life, right? When you have a bad habit, and we all have bad habits, but a lot of times we are actively fighting those bad habits. And these bad habits, these bad habits are often in the back of our mind, but we need to actively we need to actively be on the fight. I'm not Muslim, but in Islam, the fight or the struggle for righteousness or for goodness is called the jihad, and that is, the struggle of being human, being fighting your temptations, fighting all these things, and Sonic Team Sega did not seem to fight their bad habits, and they just ignored it they ignored it for money or for just whatever. They wanted to take advantage of Sonic's popularity, and it really became something that was really impacted the franchise for even now. Maybe not now as much because we finally got Shadow playable again for the first time since 2006. So it was 18 years in between 2004 and 2024 and 2006, and it goes to show this is 18 years with mainly Sonic being the only playable character, because you can tell Sega was scared and worried about the criticism of, people saying, "Oh, Sonic's friends shouldn't be in games because of games like 2000, Sonic '06." So, and yeah, I think it hurt their confidence. I think it hurt their mindset in games. And although they made good games, they made in between 2006 and 2024, it took away some of what Sonic fans loved about the games. Uh, playing multiple, playing with multiple characters, and enjoying, enjoying multiple gameplay styles, and really watching Sonic try to break new barriers. Like Sonic Colors isn't breaking new barriers. It's a great game, but it's not Sonic Heroes where you play as three different characters and you really put three different characters at once and you're switching between characters and you're doing all this. Like Sonic Colors is just, yeah, we're gonna fight Eggman with some new Wisp, but it's not anything so special, and you lose some of that specialness because, in my opinion, because of you know the the era of 2004, 2006, which is known as the dark ages of Sonic, or maybe 2007 also. Yeah. So I hope this video kind of, I would say it's a cautionary tale. Like, address your bad habits when you feel yourself failing. Try to figure out why, and don't be so hard on yourself when you do fail. Then you must fail forward. As I think my college coach always said, and some of my teammates would say, failing forward is just as it's just as important. It's as learning from your mistakes. Okay, you fail. Okay, why? And then move on. So that's all for today's video. Hope you enjoyed the little history lesson. And until next time, like, subscribe, comment, and also shout out JJ Smith and his ongoing series, college football series. So tune into that. All right. Peace.